Welcome back, beautiful people. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I've got for you today might sound so very similar, and the hypocrisy is going to abound. I cannot wait to show you what we're about to cover and the statements coming from some very specific special interest groups once some details came out around the Iowa tragedy. This you're going to want to see, and I cannot wait to hear from you guys in the comments on this one because this is a perfect opportunity. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And with that said, let's get into this because we have got to talk about something. And I am owed a disclaimer to the YouTube overlords. I'm about to read some quotes from other people. Not me. It's not my fault. It's all linked. You can verify it. Okay, now that we've said that, now, one of the things that we talk about a lot on this channel is all the vitriol that's unleashed against gun owners whenever a tragedy like what we're about to talk about happens. So if there is a shooting or there is any type of bad event that happens with a firearm because a criminal perpetrated a psychotic act, all of a sudden, Democratic politicians, gun control advocates, everybody who has a stake in taking guns and rights away always blames it on the gun owner, on the gun manufacturer, the identity as a whole. Now, a lot of that is wrapped in something we cover a lot around the left, and gun controllers can only identify groups of people because that's how they think, like socialist groups, socialism groups, demographic groups, bucket groups. While on the other side, the gun rights side, is a little bit more individualistic, so it's not as easy to pin us down individually. Now, this is a key point because the things I'm about to read you that are coming from the defenders of what they would call the LGBTQ side, particularly around the details that are coming out in Iowa, these might sound oddly familiar. And you guys tell me right down there, excuse me, right down there, if any of this sounds vaguely familiar and is rife with hypocrisy. All right, let's get it. Again, quotes, everything's linked. It's not my fault, YouTube. Angelo Varela Zabala, executive director of the gun grab group Moms Demand Action, told The Advocate, quote, "Extremists often try to muddy the waters by blaming our gun violence crisis on mental health or gender identity, when often people with these lived realities are most likely to be victims of gun violence rather than perpetrators of it. Muddy the waters by blaming who?" You understand, the stuff that I'm about to show you, and they are trying to say in defense of LGBTQ or whatever they want to do over here, they're basically saying what they've done against gun owners for the past 20 to 30 years is unconscionable. How dare they? Okay? That's the vibe we're getting. Let me continue because that was the least direct. Again, quoted, not my fault. Sarah Kate Ellis, president and CEO of GLAAD, stated, quote, "Media outlets that speculate on the shooter's identity or their support of LGBTQ rights instead of focusing on those impacted are contributing to a false and sweeping narrative about vulnerable communities." Really? Let me just, media outlets who speculate on the shooter's identity or their support of gun rights, oops, see what I did there? Instead of focusing on those impacted, are contributing to a false and sweeping narrative about gun rights. You change one word, and everything that they're complaining about right here is what they have been guilty of doing, the media, the gun control advocates, and the Democrat politicians who propagate gun control. Exactly what they do. How many times have you guys felt attacked, just indirectly, because they blame you directly? Gun culture, toxic masculinity, the 2A community, the far-right extremist gun owners. They want guns in every school. I mean, like, how many times do you want to go down the examples of which we can almost repeat back to them? And now all of a sudden it's unacceptable because one of their sacred cows is being questioned. Do you see the point I'm trying to make here? We got more. I got 4 of these total. Again, not my fault. I'm going to say that a lot, especially on this one. The Human Rights Campaign national propagandist Brandon Wolf told The Advocate that libs of TikTok's Chaya Rayashek, among those who have highlighted the suspect's apparent trans identification, quote, is using a horrific shooting to try and drum up anti-LGBTQ hysteria for her cause. Using a shooting to try and drum up anti-gun hysteria for their cause. Anybody? Anybody? You in the back? Anybody seeing a correlation here? Let's continue. In truth, LGBTQ plus people are disproportionately impacted by gun violence, a reality made worse by those like her who demonize the community at every turn and peddle dangerous, bogus narratives in exchange for influence. Guys, anybody? This is literally verbatim what they do to us all the time, and they're complaining about it because someone noticed a characteristic about an individual. I'm not even getting into that. That's not even the point of the video. That's someone else's channel. All right, go team. However, there are a lot of correlations here about exactly what they do, like using horrific shootings to drum up anti-gun rights hysteria for their cause, and then there at the end, demonizing the community at every turn and peddle dangerous, bogus narratives in exchange for influence. That's exactly what they have done to us for 20 to 30 years. And I'm calling this out for a reason. There's a reason I'm doing it. But I got the last one here for you. Again, not my fault. LGBTQ Nation, which recognized the shooter as non-binary, similarly lashed out at those dredging up evidence of his LGBT affinities, noting, quote, the right-wing focus on gun-toting, I'm not saying that part, I'm not going that far, and shooters. Mental illness is merely a way to stigmatize people while also drawing attention away from gun control regulations that could help stop mass shootings in the first place. The right-wing focus on these things is trying to draw attention away from the problem and actually towards a set narrative, a political narrative. Do you guys see all the things that are like popping up, like real obvious for us? And this is kind of where I'm going to boil it down. The reason I wanted to bring this to you guys is everything that I just showed you that is coming from the defense on the left is exactly the weaponization that they have used against us for decades. And now the positive here. We're winning. We are 100% gaining ground for our 2A rights for this generation and the next generation. We've got things that are happening across the board. You never used to see this type of stuff. It was always offense, offense, offense. Well, now there's some defense getting thrown in there, and it's kind of hard not to note the similarities to their offensive attacks. I'm going to tie some stuff together that we're seeing and correlating between the Trump stuff tonight and then also the gun rights stuff, where we've been. I'm telling you, the 2A community, the 2A audience, this audience is going to save this nation in ways that you can't even see yet because it's just now being planted, and I can't wait to show you guys that tonight. Let me know what you think of this content, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.